Good morning. Welcome to the CUNA Advocacy Update for May 11th, 2020. I'm Ryan Donovan, CUNA's Chief Advocacy Officer. Here are three things that you need to know about credit union advocacy this week. Military personnel are now counted towards earning the LIQ designation. Chairman Hood will testify before the Senate Banking Committee on Tuesday. And the Phase 4 recovery legislation, or the CARES 2 Act, begins to take shape. Last week, NCUA Chairman Rodney Hood announced that military personnel will now be able to count towards a credit union earning the low-income credit union designation. This is a long-sought change that credit unions, leagues, and CUNA encouraged NCUA to take, and it'll make it easier for many credit unions to qualify for LIQ status. To qualify for the low-income status, more than 50% of a credit union's members must be low-income members. Prior to this action, many credit union military members were not included in that calculation because they lacked physical addresses, often relying on APO or FPO addresses. This action by NCUA ensures that all military members count as low income for the purposes of calculating the LIQ status qualification. This is important because LIQ credit unions are able to accept supplemental forms of capital. They're exempt from the member business lending cap. Currently, about half of credit unions have the LIQ designation, and that should go up as a result of this action. So we appreciate Chairman Hood, Board Member Harper, who also has been supportive of this, and the agency overall for taking this action. Congress is trying to get back to work this week, and there will be hearings for the first time in several weeks, particularly in the United States Senate. One of those hearings will be in the Senate Banking Committee, and it'll feature federal financial regulators, including NCUA Chairman Rodney Hood, as witnesses. In advance of this hearing, CUNA has engaged the Banking Committee to discuss steps the agency's taken during the pandemic to help credit unions remain in a position to serve their members, and the additional steps that may be needed both by NCUA and Congress to ensure credit unions can continue to do so as we enter recovery. This hearing will be on Tuesday at 10 a.m., and it'll be streamed on the Banking Committee's website. Finally, much of our focus this week will be on the anticipated release and possible consideration of the House CARES 2 legislation. This is widely considered to be the start of the Phase 4 recovery bill. So if you hear about CARES 2 Act or the Phase 4 bill, know that they're the same thing. I want to take a minute to walk through the dynamics of this bill. The House is expected to begin the process this week. Speaker Pelosi is working to put together a bill that can unite her caucus and pass through the chamber on what's expected to be a party line vote. We anticipate that there will be a few provisions that credit unions will like in this bill, but a number that we won't like. We've had a lot of engagement with the House Financial Services Committee over the last few weeks to try to influence both those good provisions and the bad ones. If the bill's released on Monday or Tuesday, it could be considered in the House later this week. What you need to know about this process is that the House bill is not likely to become law. The Senate Republicans and Senate Democrats, as well as the White House, are going to want to put their fingerprints on this bill before it becomes law. And whereas past recovery bills have passed the Senate on voice vote or unanimously, this legislation is likely to get a real vote, which means Senate Democrats have tremendous leverage in the process. Once the House passes their legislation, I would expect what's known as four corners negotiations to intensify to get the bill through both chambers and onto the president's desk before the end of the month. I hope you found this update helpful. If you have questions or concerns during the week, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Thanks for spending some time with me. I hope you have a great week.